be breaking down a New York session, a trade that I took, and I'm gonna be breaking down what I expect for London to do tonight. So, before this session started, before New York session started today, I told you guys that I was anticipating sells coming from this area to continue a movement to the downside, which I'm about to explain right now. Or I told you guys either price was gonna break past this area and continue to this previous low of day being right around this area. So let's go over this and let's start from the beginning. So the very first thing, I'm gonna just draw the highs and lows of days real quick. So if we're trading right here on Monday, the high and low of day is gonna come from Friday. The highest and lowest point between Frankfurt and New York, which is this point right here, the highest point, high of day, and then the low of day right here, the lowest point right here, low of day, and then the previous high and previous low of day is going to be two previous trading days from what we're trading. So if we're trading on Monday, it's going to be Thursday, two previous trading days. Friday was one, and then the second previous trading day is Thursday. So here we go, the previous high of day right here, previous low of day right here. This trade I did lose today, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to go over this breakdown because I know you guys are going to be able to learn from this breakdown. And we're going to just go over what zone the market used and what direction the market went in. So it's always good to go over wins and losses, both, not just wins. And losses are normal, just as normal as wins. So let's go over the okay, so after this, let's go into the higher time frames, the weekly time frame, just so I could draw the supply that we're coming from right now. So on the weekly time frame, I know we have the supply that we're coming from right here. Let me mark this real quick, this area right here, and then we're gonna go to the daily real quick. I know it's kind of very repetitive if you've been watching the last videos, me marking the same zones. It's that I'm literally uploading a daily breakdown, so I'm drawing the same zones day after day because that's what we're working with currently. But if it's very repetitive, but a lot of knowledge being dropped, so definitely I want you guys to pick up on this. So after this weekly supply that we're coming from, let's go to the daily time frame, and then let's mark this right here. We have this major demand zone that we're working with on the daily time frame. I thought that was the target that we're gonna hit this morning, this area right here. And then we have the supply zone right here on H4. I want you guys to notice how it's the right shoulder. We have the left head and then possible right shoulder coming from this area. So that's a very likely area that we're going to see price pull back to continue the sell movement from this area here. So now let's go to H4, see what we're working with on H4. If we go to H4, I want you guys to notice this. I want you guys to notice that we have this area right here. Let me actually mark it like this. Like this. This area of supply that we used on Friday, that you could tell how price used this area right here to give us this movement to the downside. Actually, no, this was not Friday. This was on Thursday. The Thursday, I also broke this trade down as well. I caught this sell here, and I caught this sell on Friday as well. But yes, we're coming from this higher time frame right here, this weekly, and then this H4 higher time frame of supply. And then I was anticipating price to continue the sells with this being the down target right here. So let's go over that real quick. Let's go to M15 and see what we were actually working with in the moment. So let's let me move this. Actually, we could actually do replay real quick. So what I was anticipating and what I saw was this. Let's actually go to M5 because M5 is a little bit more a lower time frame and we can see a little bit more detail. So on M5, I noticed this. Notice how we have this low of day right here. This is very important. When I tell you guys it's very important to mark the highs and lows of days correctly. Notice we have this low of day right here, and then we have this demand zone right here that was created right before Frankfurt, this session right here, which is before London. Notice how we created this demand zone, and then London pulled back exactly to the pip, touching the low of day in this demand zone. Notice how they go hand in hand. Very accurate supply and demand zone. Sorry, excuse me. And the highs and lows of days. So notice how price used this area here to continue the bullish movement. But I want you guys to notice this. Notice the supply right here that we have on M5. Notice, so when I sit down and I analyze the market at 8:30, I saw this. I saw how in the higher time frames we're coming from this the weekly supply, H4 supply, and then notice how we have this M5 supply right here, which looks like London used this area to give us this pullback to this area here, which I told you guys that I was anticipating to take a sell from this area right here. From this area, price to pull back to continue the sells, with this being the major target on the daily time frame. I told you guys either two things were going to happen. Either price was going to continue the sells from here, or this is the way I told you guys. Either price was going to do this and continue the sells, with this being the major target right here, or price was going to break past this supply right here like this and then pull back like this. And this I post my analysis every day on the free Telegram and on my Instagram story. I told you guys either price was going to do one of these two things. I honestly was anticipating the sales to come in, just because we're on a everything is pointing to that the market was going to pull back, continue to this area here, but price broke past this area, and we'll see exactly what the market did right now. So let's continue. Let's see what the market did. So as soon as the market opened, you can see how price touches this M5 supply. It gives us an interaction, then price breaks past it right here. As soon as price breaks past this area right here, I already know that nothing is stopping price to this previous low of day right here. So what is very likely? Let's continue to see what the end of today did, and we'll I'll go over what price is going to do now. So notice how price interacts with this previous low of day. Notice how as soon as price touches this previous low of day, we're getting this movement here to the downside. That doesn't mean that price is going to continue now into a bearish movement or nothing like that, but just notice how price interacts in this area. They're very specific points. So notice now, let's delete this shit and let's see what price is doing right now and what we could see price to do, expect price to do. So notice how I told you guys price was going to either continue to sell from here or break past this area and continue to the previous low of day. So now that we're in this area right here, it's very, very likely. Let's delete this because we're no longer working with this. Also, let me just point out this right here, because the market just doesn't pull back to random areas. So obviously, I took the sell right here, anticipating from this M5 supply, and notice how it did not play out. But what did happen was price pulled back to this demand zone right here on M5, and that's where the this is where the movement came in from this morning. I just want to point this out for you guys. This is why it's more important to break down the trades, because you can obviously it's important to go over winning trades, but it's important to go over losing trades as well. So real quick, I just spot that this price pulled back to this demand zone here, and this would have been a very, very nice entry, with the previous low of day being the main target. But since everything was pointing that price was going to continue the sells, and we pulled back to this supply right here, I was anticipating price to continue the sells from this area. But now that we're seeing that price is making its way to the upside, where I do see price heading to is this right here. Let me point this out for you guys real quick. Notice this is a very likely scenario for tonight. So notice how we have this H4 supply zone right here that gave us this movement to the downside, and then we have this supply created right here. This supply right here, this previous contrary candle that gave us this movement to the downside. Notice how it's a left ahead right here, and then the right shoulder would be perfectly right here. So it's very likely that we're going to see price tonight probably pull back into this area right here to continue the movement to the downside, with this being the main target. So let me clean my chart up a little bit and show you guys exactly what I mean with that. So now that we're going to be trading so now that we're going to be trading on Tuesday, let's delete the previous high and previous lows of days real quick. So we're going to delete this, delete that, and then this high of day becomes the previous high of day right here. Previous high of day, and then this previous low, this low of day becomes the previous low of day right here. Previous low of day. And then the high and low of day, if we're trading on Tuesday, is going to come from Monday. So again, it's going to be the highest and lowest points between Frankfurt and New York session. This is the high of day right here, and the low of day right here. Let me mark this. So I'm going to point out some very specific things for you guys right here. Low of day right here. Okay, so notice this. Notice how pretty much we have this area of demand right here. Actually, let me mark it on M5. Like this. Okay, notice how pretty much we have this previous contrary candle right here, this area demand zone that gave us this push, breaking these highs. And then right on this zone, we have this high of day. It's literally what I tell you guys, that it's very specific to mark these zones, highs and lows of days with demand zones. Notice right here is, again, this previous low of day with this zone right here. And then notice how we see it again right here. Notice how we have this high of day with this zone right here. It's very likely price is going to continue giving us this pullback to this area right here, which I told you guys is the H4 supply. So let's see how this looks right here. Like this, it's very likely price is gonna pull back to this area here, and then we might see London sell from this area tonight. So that's one very likely scenario. If price were to break past this area, because nothing is 100% sure, then just keep in mind that nothing is stopping price to this daily supply up here. But it's very likely we're going to see the sells come in from this area right here. Just 1 second. But yeah, that's what I'm anticipating for tonight, guys. Yeah, hopefully you guys pick up some value from this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.